Welcome to a new episode of Video Car Review, our international branch of Ausfahrt TV. And I'm on Austria today, and I'm presenting you the all-new Volvo V60 Polestar, the performance version of the Volvo V60. The Volvo V60 was introduced in 2010 at the Paris Motor Show. In 2013 it got an upgrade, a facelift, and now they're presenting a performance version, the V60 Polestar. So what is Polestar? Polestar is actually a racing team, and they're working with Volvo for a very long time now. They used to take Volvos and build them for racing, you know, and their partnership grew and grew and grew, and they even did some concept cars together with Volvo. For instance, one Volvo V60 or S60 Polestar, and this concept was presented in Detroit, and the Australian guys saw this car and said, well, Polestar, come on, we're doing a limited edition, we need this car in Australia. And so I think around about 100 units were built and sold in Australia. So all the other markets said, well, you know, we want this car as well, and now here it is. By now Volvo or Polestar split it into two parts. The racing team is still the racing team, and the company who was building up those cars, the regular Volvo cars, is now part of the Volvo company. So we can expect more Volvo Polestar versions in the near future, and you can see it as a Quattro company from Audi or the M company from BMW or Mercedes-Benz AMG. Do we see any competitors? Well, first of all, this is a mid-class E-State version. Let me put on my German Googles and see what our car industry is having as competitors on the market. I see the Audi S4 Avant E-State version. I see the BMW 340i Touring E-State version and the Mercedes-AMG C43 T-Model, so E-State version. That's the three main competitors in our market. Volvo is offering the V60 with several powertrains. So let's talk about petrol engines first. We have 120 horsepower, 152, 190, 245 and 306. Talking about the diesel engines, 122 horses, 150 horses, 190 horses and 225 horses. Then we got a plug-in hybrid, a diesel plug-in hybrid. That's a D4 twin engine. The diesel engine has 220 horses and the electric engine has 68 horses. It has a 11.2 kilowatt hours battery, and that should be good for 50 kilometers of full electric driving. Depending on the trim level and the engine, you have the choice between an manual 6-speed or the automatic transmission called 6-speed Geartronic. The car comes as front-wheel drive, several models come as all-wheel drive as well. Let's talk about the heart of our test car here. It is a 2-liter 4-cylinder. Yes, you heard right. No 6-cylinder, no 5-cylinder, a 4-cylinder with a capacity of 2 liters. It has a power of 367 horses and it's good for maximum torque of 470 Newton meters. You get them in a range between 3,100 and 5,100 RPM. The Volvo V60 Polestar always comes with all-wheel drive and the 8-speed Geartronic automatic transmission. Let me give you the basic specs about our test car, the Volvo V60 Polestar. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds. The top speed is reached at 250 kilometers per hour or 155 miles per hour. The gas tank of the 2016 Volvo V60 Polestar will take 68 liters or 18 US gallons. Volvo gives a fuel consumption figure of 8.1 liters for 100 kilometers driven or 29 miles per US gallons, which means that under perfect conditions you can drive up to 830 kilometers or 520 miles without stopping for fuel. CO2 emissions for the 2060 Volvo Polestar should be 186 grams per kilometer according to Volvo. The Volvo V60 has a length of 4.63 meters or 182 inches, with a wheelbase of 2.78 meters or 109 inches. It is 1.48 meters high, so 58 inches, and it is 1.87 meters wide, so 74 inches, with a span of 2.1 meters or 83 inches from mirror tip to mirror tip. For the turning circle, you need at least 11.9 meters or 39 feet of free space. The curb weight comes in at 1,796 kilograms or 3,960 pounds. The maximum loaded weight is 2,270 kilograms or 5,004 pounds. In Germany, our test car would cost around about 70,000 euros. By now, Volvo is offering the V60, at least in Germany, with 9 different trim levels. And the Polestar trim level is one of them. Well, you only get the Polestar trim level with this engine, so, you know, it's one thing. But if you want to get an idea, you take the R-Design trim level, add all the options you can get, and you get the Polestar. When you configure the Polestar online, you only have 4 or 3 choices, like electric sunroof and a smoker package, and I forgot the other 2 ones. So yeah, it's almost like fully loaded. It's like, you know, take my money. Anyway, if we look together to the front, of course, the Polestar version as a performance model is supposed to look more aggressive. And yes, the whole front bumper is shaped in a different way. We have a high glossy black splitter here, and the whole grille is painted in high glossy black as well. On the left side, we got the Polestar logo here. Well, the color of our test car is not only very kinky, it's called Rebel Blue. Like they made it for me. I really like the color, by the way. In Germany, it's just one of 4 colors you can choose from, while for the regular model you have 14 colors to choose from. With a Polestar you only have 4 choices, and if you choose white you don't have to pay extra. For the blue you do have to pay extra. What the ground clearance of the Polestar is 14 centimeters, and what I really like, very charming fact, they put the wading depth in the technical specs, so you have a wading depth of 250 millimeters. In the basis version, the Volvo V60 comes with 16-inch wheels. Well, the Polestar always comes with 20-inch alloys, and exactly those alloys you don't have a choice, because those are the Polestar alloys. By the way, the tires are Michelin Pilot Super Sport in the dimension 245/35 ZR20. Behind the alloys you see the braking system from Brembo. You have 6 pistons in the brake caliper, the silver grey caliper, that work with a braking disc that has a diameter of 371 millimeters. In the rear, the brake disc has a diameter of 302 millimeters. The V60 Polestar comes with big xenon headlights and LED day running lights. The xenon headlights come with dynamic cornering light, turning light, and they have an intelligent high beam assist, which means that if you can drive with your high beams on, if you encounter a car or have a car ahead of you, the camera next to the rear mirror sees this car and turns off your high beams and turns them on again when you have passed this car or light source. Alright, looking from the back, it's really easy to recognize the Polestar version, right? Because no other V60 has such a big roof spoiler. I mean, you can really sit on this beast here. And on the other way around, down here, we have a black diffuser, and they put this high glossy paint here as well, like, you know, in the front. Besides that, we have a sport exhaust system that does not only sound good, at least for my taste, it looks good, because look at those you know, exit pipes. And that's not fake, that's real, you know. You even have flaps inside to switch between sport and normal driving. So looking from the rear, I say yes, it is a performance model. Looking at the rear lights, that's just regular V60. So we have a mix between LEDs coming from up here going down there, full LED. This part is full LED, while the regular function like turning signal, rear driving and fog lamps, that's just regular light bulbs. Enough of the blue, enough from the outside. Let's check out the interior together. But first, a closer look at the door. It opens in an 80-degree angle and gives me the view of this beautiful engineered by Polestar dorsal panel, which is, by the way, not illuminated. All right, and now you can enjoy watching me climbing in the sports car. But then we have a ground clearance of 40 centimeters, so it's easy to get in here. And if I was stupid enough to open the door all the way, I have to lean out at least a little bit to grab it and close it. Welcome inside the Volvo V60 Polestar. We're inside, and as usual I have a look at the material. So the dashboard has soft touch on it, even down here, and even the lid of the gloves compartment, it's not soft touch, but it feels a little softer than hard plastic. Then hard plastic down here and all the way down here and up here, but this does not even that does not only look like carbon fiber, it is carbon fiber, so that's real. But looking around in the car, it's really just this piece, so they saved some money, you know. In the door panels, on the upper part, it's soft touch, micro Alcantara, let's put it this way, and soft plastic down here. The seats mix between Alcantara and leather, real leather, and we got blue stitching here. You find that blue just about everywhere in the car, you know, blue stitching. So the ceiling is covered with clothes and soft. On the A-pillar it's closed, but you know, it's like glued on hard plastic. Now the big question, is this premium already? Me as a spoiled German with Mercedes, Audi and BMW claiming to be the, you know, real premium partner, and Porsche of course, I'm sorry, how could I forget Porsche? I might say that's in a good way to be premium, but on the other way around, if you think about the XC90, so the new generation of Volvo, that's really very, 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 very close, if not already premium. This is just the generation before. And so I might say, no, that's not really high premium. No, that's not even low premium. That's not premium yet. Done. Okay, looking about or checking out the ergonomy of the car. So we got this tiny little display, and I would even claim my iPhone display is bigger. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know. It's a small display. However, what I like, the whole center part is driver oriented, and I really like this. So checking out the parts. So we have the display here. It's not a touch display, just to look at it. Down here we have one block. Well, first of all, here is this graveyard of keys, you know. You really get lost. And when I remember when I first got into a Volvo of this generation, you know, I was freaking out, you know, how in the world should I manage to find anything in this block with this many keys? But after the third Volvo, I got used to it, and I can even say you get used to it, it's not that bad. It looks really strange at first, but overall it's easy to handle. And this block, this graveyard, is separated in two parts. The upper part is the graveyard of the infotainment system. Now I'm stopping. So the upper part is all about the infotainment system, while the lower part is more about the AC, so the air condition. And the very lowest part, there's some more buttons, something else. Next to the steering wheel, we have two sticks on the right side, windscreen wiper, front and rear. On the right side, it's the high beams and the turning signal, but as well some jog shuttle sort of thing control to control the board computer, a back button and an OK button on the tip of the stick. We got a multifunctional steering wheel, by the way. Next to the steering wheel on the left, we got all the switches for the light. And in the door panel, we got everything to control the mirrors and the power-driven windows. As I said, when you get first in the car, if it's your first time in a Volvo, you probably freak out. But if you've driven 1 or 2 times, you get along with this and it's not in any way hard to handle. You get along fine with it. Now concerning space, first of all I can put a fist between my head and the ceiling. I'm 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11", and the seat is put to the lowest position there is. But still plenty of space. Between the seats we have this much of space. I was driving with my camera guy Ike today in this car, 200 kilometers or so, and you don't feel tightened up. It's a mid-class E-State version. You have enough space to hang out and feel relaxed, and everything's cool. All right. So I can start with my normal routine. Actually, before this is already my normal routine as well. I can adjust the height of the safety belts on my shoulder, and I would like to show you the length of the safety belts. Well, there's plenty of safety belt. I'm sitting very comfortable, personally, on those sport seats. In the back, or you even have this Polestar logo once again, and it's a mix between Alcantara and leather, those sport seats. By the way, if you wonder if this headrest is in any way uncomfortable, I say no. At least not for me. I like it. It's actually pretty cool. You have a lot of side support. Okay, those are sport seats. You're supposed to have side support, but you do have side support as well. Besides that, we were driving this car now 3 hours in a row, from the airport to this location, and I had no problems with my back. I would even say, for me, those seats are perfect. They're very comfortable. You can adjust them electrically, seat cushion up and down and forward and, all the way. And you can adjust the backrest. You cannot adjust the headrest, so that's just fixed, not even manually. But you can store your favorite position even in 3 different spots. And we got a seat heating, 3 intensities, and it's showing up in the display, whatever you choose. Okay, on to the sport steering wheel. Well, actually, it rather looks like a steering wheel. On the outside ring, we got real leather, perforated real leather, while in the inside ring, we got micro... I really have to pick up this word. Alcantara, I might say, but what's the real word? I will look it up. Next time I know. Okay, since the leather is getting cold in wintertime, we have a heating for the steering wheel, 1 intensity. It has 2 shifting pedals. Amazing, isn't it? 2 even, on each side 1. No, well, I'm just kidding. From my view, it looks like metal, but it is actually plastic. From the rear, they put some rubber on there so you don't slip away, and they're pretty neat and big and easy to handle. They're good of use. By the way, you can adjust the steering wheel even. And here's the radius, you can do this. All right. Then it's a multifunctional steering wheel. On the left side, we got the buttons for the speed limiter and the adaptive cruise control. We can set, put, restore, and everything else. On the right side, there are a couple of buttons to navigate through the infotainment system. Yeah. So everything about the steering wheel. Let's have a look in the mirror. They're not any sexy shaped, I mean, it's a performance model, and some manufacturers really, do some other mirrors on there. This mirror is, at least not for my taste, in any way sexy, but it is big enough to see everything what's going on behind, and you can see everything in both mirrors. The inner mirror indeed is sexy because it's frameless and you see the whole rear window in it. I like this, if you don't have to fuddle around with your head. The headrest of the rear bench is in the way a little bit, but you have a button even here to flip the headrest down, so it's not in the way anymore. Okay, shoulder view. Looking around my shoulder, over the left shoulder, I can tell you that the B-pillar is not really skinny. It's pretty big, but I don't see a blind spot here. The other way around, A-pillar fine, B-pillar fine, C-pillar fine. Well, if the headrest is up on the right seat, then the headrest and the D-pillar make a big blind spot. The other way around, if it's down, it's okay. Still, you have a blind spot there, and be sure to check the mirror as well once you look around. We even have a rear camera that I will show you right now, or after I showed you the cockpit. All right, cockpit dead, ignition. So that is the screen, and since my camera guy is filming me from one side, the door is open, but I can delete this. So before I get into details, we have 3 different skins we can choose from. This one is called Elegance, and the virtual round instrument in the center shows a speedometer going up to 260 kilometers per hour, while this car runs 250, so that's fine. But if I say check and seems okay too, I can choose an eco theme. That's the whole stuff, same, almost the same in green, with the RPM meter on the right side and an eco guide on the left side. While with the Elegance theme on the left side we got the coolant temperature. But I of course prefer performance. And that's just the skin, it has nothing to do with the car or the engine. And now we got the RPM meter in the center going up to 8,000 RPM, while the red range starts at 6,500 RPM. In the center, big and easy to read, we got the digital speed, and even the speed limit is shown here. But I wonder how I should drive 100 on this small, tiny mountain road. On the left side, we got the coolant temperature. On the right side, a power meter, which is, you know, some sort of RPM meter as well. Now, let's have a closer look at the row down here. Outside temperature on the left and actual time on the right. Now I can rotate this ruler here. Current fuel consumption on the left, mileage with the gas tank on the right. And I can switch this to average fuel consumption, average speed, and I can turn this off. That's it. On the left side, I got the control for the gas tank, and on the right side, I got the driving program. So once I put the car in reverse or drive, then I see it, and I can even put it in sport or shift manually, and that's what you see as well. So that's the cockpit, and just to let you know, once again pushing here, it's messages, reset everything, status of the service, oil, and the heating, contrast, and various options, but those are not too interesting. Okay. That's it from the cockpit. Let's switch real quick to the infotainment system, and I rather zoom in because it's pretty tiny. So navigation, radio, media, telephone, car, internet, and camera. I can use this control to walk through here, or I just push these buttons. Navigation. I'm not too much of a fan of this map. It's pretty slow too. However, it navigated us fine to the place we're standing here. Then we got media, nothing is connected. I'm sorry, I lost my phone at the airport. I forgot, not lost. Then we got my car, where I can do certain things. For instance, enable or see the status of the assist systems. And I got even internet, where I can use a browser. So you can use either the hotkeys or the ruler to do this. And here we got back and OK as well. Since I've driven the V60 cross country and the S60 cross country, I can tell you even today it was all bright that you can read both displays fine during day and nighttime. Oh, and before I forget, the rear camera, put the car in reverse. Well, so the picture is even smaller than the display, but at least once you move the steering wheel, the lines move as well. And on the side we even have a little painting that shows us the signals from the sensors while in parking mode. And now I can finally turn the car off. Well, I said, oh, let's put it in P first, might help. I was just big mouth, telling you, I remember the S60 and V60 cross country, but I don't remember if they had ambient light. And since it's all it's still not dark, I don't know if it has any. I might remember, some white LEDs every now and then, here and there, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry, apologize. That's it. Okay, the warning signal indicator switch should be here, driving, traffic jam, warning, 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 but it's here. I say it's okay, because the Volvo is so nicely blue, I will just not fuss about it. It's red, you can easily reach it, so that's fine. And last but not least, let's check out the horn. That's how it sounds like. And on we go with a video car review compartment check. I show you all the compartments we got here in the Volvo V60 Polestar. First of all, I need this half-a-liter bottle to check out. Yes, it fits in the door panels. I would even say a 0.75 liter bottle will fit in here, and some else like a wallet or whatever. Then we got nothing, really nothing, except here behind the center console we have a little compartment with an anti-slip surface, by the way. And here's some stuff. Well, that's actually my name badge for this event, That's what they give us, not only Volvo, but all the manufacturers. So this is background information. Background. Everything for you guys. So here I can put some stuff, for instance, the phone or keys or whatever. Then we got the two cup holders, but before I show you the cup holders, you can slide it away if you don't need it. But in the two cup holders, those half-a-liter bottles fit in just well. And we got even spacers, rubber spacers, so the bottles don't shake around too much. And I think most probably even a liter bottle would fit in here. Between the two cup holders, we got a 12-volt outlet. And back here we got an armrest. Well, not really an armrest, because are you driving this way? I don't think so. However, you can flip it open, not only open, but in a 180-degree angle for whatever reason. Inside we have a little compartment with an anti-slip surface and the USB plug as well as an aux in. Done. Then we got the gloves compartment here. By the way, the car even comes with a remote control. I think in comparison to the graveyard of keys, this beast is pretty sexy. But then on the other hand, I would feel a little bit stupid to take this control while sitting on the passenger side and remoting the system while I could reach the keys anyway. But at least it's pretty cool and sexy. Alright, so there's real space in here as well. That's all the material Volvo put in here, but there's even space for much more. It's illuminated, but not connected to the ACC. Here's a SIM card reader, so you can hook up the infotainment system with the internet. We got two pen holders, a coin holder, and that's pretty much it. In both sun visors we find a makeup mirror. Both are illuminated by two lights on the side, and the mirror is pretty big, which I like because I can see myself neatly. We got handles, by the way, on both four doors here. Find the arrow. On both doors, actually on all four doors. And we get reading lights for the driver and the passenger, as well as an entry light, where the entry light is just this part and the reading lights is the front part. And I cannot say it's bright light, it's rather cozy light. So no LEDs, just regular light bulbs. And let me think real quick. Oh, now I found the ticket holder. It's on the windscreen here. But that's it, I'm done. Well, as a mid-size station wagon, the Volvo V60 should have enough space in the rear. First of all, the door opens in an 85-degree angle. And now I would like to see how easy it is to get inside. Well, that's easy. Enough space for now for getting in, and as easy to close the door. Welcome and howdy from the rear bench. First of all, I'm 180 centimeters tall, so 5'11". The driver's seat is put in a position that I can really sit comfortable, and I can tell you I have enough space. Enough space for my legs. I cannot really push my whole feet under the front seat, but that's okay. I can put a fist between my head and the ceiling, so fine. If I look to the side, I'm not touching the ceiling at once, but I look on this black stripe here. That's not so nice. But overall, space is fine. The material in the rear is as nice as in the front, so a mix between Alcantara and leather for the seats, and the door panel, just the same materials like in the front, soft touch, Alcantara and soft plastics down here. Thinking about the kids, I have power-driven windows that fold down, not completely. Even if I slam on them, it stays this way. But Volvo is supposed to be a very secure and safe car. We have a protection so no kid gets harmed sticking its finger outside. We got ISOFIX hooks on both outer seats, and the locks of the safety belts are stiff, so kids can buckle up themselves with ease. And the length of the safety belts looks like this, so you will have no problems buckling up a child seat or a baby shelf. Yeah, let's look what we got here in the door panel. We have space for the half-a-liter bottle. In contrast to the front, there's not space for anything, or not for a bigger bottle, but you can still put a wallet in here or something else. Up here we got the handles, a little hook for your jacket. The outlet is in the B-pillar, not in the center. On the rear of the front seats we got little bags. They're not very wide, but deep. In the center we got a 12-volt outlet and the switches for the seat heating for the two outer seats, 3 intensities. We got reading lights for both outer seats, not very bright light like in the front, so but still at least you got some light. And in the center we got an armrest for one thing, and you can fold it out, a cup holder and a little compartment. And if I take my half-a-liter bottle, it fits in here very well due to the rubber spacers, but I think even a 0.75 liter bottle will fit in here as well. And now I can scoot in the middle just as a test, and I can say, oh, the back is really hard, the cushion is not very comfortable. I'm now limited with my knee space because, you know, I'm touching the sides of the rear of the front seats, and my upper legs are covering part of the seat cushion of the outer legs, outer seats. So yes, you can sit here with 3 grown-ups my size, but it is a little bit cozy. Alright guys, before we check out the trunk together, let's have a look at the key. It's a regular Volvo key. So the Volvo badge on one side, on the other side we have 6 buttons. Well, this one is easy. Lock the car, unlock the car, turn on the lights, open the trunk, or no, unlock the trunk. So the car stays locked, but the trunk is unlocked, but stays unlocked. This one is the emergency button, so the car starts honking until you you start the ignition. And I know this because I did it, and you see the whole panorama here. It got really loud. I still got a little headache. And this info button is pretty neat. So for instance, you have locked the car, you go away and don't you have always the same, you know, did I lock the car or didn't I don't know. So all you have to do is push the info button. Now you see 3 lights jumping around, so it's talking to the car, the key is talking to the car, gets its feedback, and here you see the green light at the locked symbol, which means the car is locked. That's pretty cool. So you don't need a smartphone integration for this one. All right, the trunk. Let's open the lid. Here we got storage for 430 liters or 17 cubic feet. And let me unpack real quick so we can have a deeper look. By the way, that's not all our luggage we have here. Some luggage, for instance, the tripod case got stuck in Frankfurt and didn't make it to Austria. So we are just here with half of our equipment, but we make it work anyway. So let me have a look at the trunk. First of all, this is how it looks like all empty. Here we have a lid we can open, 30 more liters. Here we got the warning triangle and the first aid kit. And let me just check this out. Below this, even the tire kit fit, whatever. And some metal. This is a Volvo specific, I might say, so that's a divider sort of, so you can divide 2 parts of the trunk. Then you got this yellow rubber band and even 2 hooks to, you know, hang in bags or whatever. Then we got the 4 rings to tie up stuff. That's easy one. And a 12 volt outlet on the left side. Besides that, here in the lid we have a little light, LED as it looks like, and the handle to close the lid. Then we got the, well, head shelf. That's not the head shelf anymore. And you can just release it and it goes in, flips in. You can release the whole part this way and then just put this beast to the side. That's how it looks like. And now here on the side we have 2 buttons. One is to release the headrest, so that's on both sides. And the other one is to release the full rear bench, 60% on one side, while this is divided into 40-20. And here is 40% on the other side. And that's how the empty trunk looks like. Alright guys, we are not in the mountains anymore. We are at the airport where I have to slide this part in because I left my measuring tape at home, and on the way back to the airport we had to buy a new one. So once you flip the rear bench, you have space for 1,241 liters or 44 cubic feet. And now it's time for the measuring tape. Unfortunately it's not Brian, so I cannot give you inches, only centimeters. So loading in here, you have a depth of 88 centimeters to the upper part of the backrest of the rear seats. Once we flip them, we have space for 160 centimeters. And I pushed the passenger seat to the very front, then we can load in things up to a length of 190 centimeters. We have a width of 108 centimeters between the wheel arches, and we have a height here of 38 centimeters to the head shelf and 65 centimeters to the roofline at the front. Just 2 numbers missing. First of all, you have to lift up your goods 67, 68 centimeters, but then you can push them into the trunk. And by the way, this protection here, the scratch protection, looks like metal, but actually it seems to be just plastic. Okay, hope it doesn't break. The next number and last number I'm giving you for today is the height of the lid, of the boot lid. And I would measure, I'm measuring just 2 meters, but to be safe, I just say 205 centimeters of space you need in height when you open the lid. You can load up to 474 kilograms inside the Volvo V60 Polestar or 1045 pounds, of which you can put up to 75 kilograms or 165 pounds on the roof. I don't think that you can install a hook because in the technical specs I didn't find any matching numbers. Alright guys, time to share my driving impressions with you. I've just been on the Großglockner street, you know, crossing the mountain. Now we are back down still. Good time to share my driving impressions with you. First of all, I want to start with, we have two driving programs. Normal or just drive and sport. To activate sport, I just push the stick here to the left and then it goes into sport mode and it changes the characteristics of the automatic transmission, the engine, the steering and the suspension. So first of all, let me just slow down a little bit after the next corner. Just to give you an idea, I don't want to stop. So acceleration is quite fun. It really is in sport. And I don't worry about all the curves because the steering does really feel well. When I started driving this car, I was not pleased at all. I didn't feel comfortable with the car. You know, the steering was even kind of awkward for me. The brake was okay. The performance didn't really please me. The car felt kind of heavy. Well, you know, I really didn't know what Volvo did with the Polestar edition. And then after driving quite a while, everything changed totally. The only thing I don't like by now is the brake, and everything else is pretty awesome. So let's start out. We have a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 367 horses. The car weighs around about 1.8 tons. At no time it feels like it's not a sporty car. You have the power whenever you need it, especially in sport mode. I'm very, very, very fine with the suspension. See, I have no problems confessing that I'm not the greatest shifter in the world, especially not with automatic cars. I hardly use the pedals because, you know, I don't need, it's just me, I guess. I don't like pedal shifting too much. So I am very dependent to a good transmission. And the 8-speed Geartronic automatic transmission does an awesome job in sport because it always gets the car in a position gear-wise that you have a punch on your throttle foot. So I can totally focus on just driving around, and the transmission does everything to ease me driving sporty. And that's awesome. I really am pleased, and I cannot really compare it to any other car. All I can say it's awesome. To me, it feels really awesome. The suspension does. No, the suspension, the steering. Well, the suspension is fine too. In comfort mode that I'm using right now, it's really comfortable. By the way, it's a silent runner as well in a normal mode. So when we're driving to the hotel on the first day, we were just driving, you know, to get mileage done. We just wanted to get there to get our video production going and all that. So we were rather cruising than doing anything else. And we're talking and, you know, feeling the car a little bit. It was just a nice partner for this drive, the car was. Easy to handle, very silent, not in any way, you know, making you want to go fast. You could just drive, and it was nice. Long time or a long road driver, that's a perfect description for the normal mode. But once you put the car in sport, and when we finally reach the higher mountains and it starts being, you know, having curves all the way, after the second turn I was like, no way that I'm gonna cruise anymore, you know. So let's put the baby in sport and let's go. And then the suspension gets much stiffer. Still you have a lot of rest comfort. And first I was thinking, well, you know, that can't be good, because I'm so used to having a sporty suspension, being stiff and you jumping around like a little rabbit. But no, you don't even have to. The car is sitting great, perfect on the road. You can do everything you want. It's not the suspension that makes the car feel or drive funny, it's you, you know. So suspension wise, I'm very pleased they did a good compromise or a good spreading between normal and sporty driving. And even driving sporty, you do have a lot of rest comfort, and that's a really cool job by the Volvo engineers, or the Polestar engineers rather. With the steering I wasn't too content first because I thought it was not direct enough. In normal mode it is, you know, you have this rest comfort, the car's not jumping around when you know, you joggle with a steering wheel a little bit, but then pushing it into sport, it's getting just a little bit more direct, and that's just perfect for driving. As I told you, at first I didn't like the car too much, but then getting used to it and feeling the car, how it reacts in the certain situations, I was appreciating even the steering. And I told you already, what I don't like is the brake. The brake works fine, don't get me wrong, you know, it slows the car down, but when you put your foot on the pedal, you have a little bit of way before it starts reacting. So, and then even you have to press a little way to make it, you know, slow down more rapidly. And for a sporty car, I would rather expect to have a high pressure point on top already, so that when you want to brake, you just have to put your foot right on it for a little while, you know, and not like pressing it down so much. The function of the brake is fine, but the way of the pedal I don't like too much. Well, that's maybe just, excuse me personally. Okay, sound-wise, as I told you, in normal it's just a fine runner. So when you push it in sport, of course, the rev gets higher, so the car gets louder a little bit. But I think they even have one flap in the exhaust pipe that opens. And so, well, I already accelerated one time, but let's do it a second time. No one behind me. Well, it is a 4-cylinder, 2-liter 4-cylinder, so don't expect any V8 sound. But for a 4-cylinder, it doesn't sound too bad, I guess. Yes, we are already used to all this, you know, sparkling and barking, and I think, you know, most people already by now get a little bit tired of it. But if I want to buy a sporty Volvo, I expect it to sound a little bit sporty as well. And the exhaust pipe system does its job, so that's fine. If you don't like it, drive a normal, you know, that's it. Or drive to the Volvo dealership and disable the flap. Done. I cannot really tell you much about the wind noises because when we started driving on the Austrian Autobahn, I didn't really pay attention. I was too much in a discussion. Maybe we will, you know, tune in back later when we are on the Austrian Autobahn. But there we have a speed limit of 120, I guess. So I cannot tell you more than that. Transmission was fine. By the way, if you're normal and you drive normally, it's seamless shifting too, you know. But if you put it in sport and you really push it under pressure, you hit your foot on the throttle, then you kind of, you know, feel the shifting as well. But that's the way you want it if you drive it sporty. All right, guys, acceleration on the Autobahn, full speed in sport. 70, 80, 90, 100, 120, 130, and I'm not allowed to drive any faster than that. So you get a little feeling how acceleration feels here. It's a pretty flat road. You should have heard the engine bark again, and I can tell you something about the wind noises because we've been on this autobahn or highway now for quite a while. Wind noises start being there, or you start noticing wind noises at 125 kilometers per hour. That's pretty cool, you know. I've had cars in this segment where you hear the wind at already 100 kilometers per hour, and they get a little bit louder at 130, but I can't tell you anything else because that's the speed limit here, and they give you really high tickets if you break the laws, so I better be a good boy here. And then we're talking about assist systems here and the stereo system or the infotainment system. First of all, Volvo claims in 2020 they want no one badly harmed by an accident involving a Volvo. So regardless if you're the driver or a pedestrian that Volvo is hitting, they want no one to get a bad injury. So we expect Volvo to be a safe car already. I mean, if you make a questionnaire about safe cars, I think Volvo will be one of the leading brands up there. At least here in Germany, when I grew up, everyone told me, if you want to have a safe, secure car, you buy a Volvo. Done. You know, even with our high premium brands here, Volvo was still the one being supposed to be the most safe cars. So they have a lot of safety assist that I'm not even naming, and I cannot recognize the name. But you know, traffic jam, collision alert, whatever. So I'm just picking out the ones that are interesting for me as a daily driver. We have the adaptive cruise control, works with charm, fine. We have an active lane keeping assist. I don't like it too much. I like the system from Volkswagen better that makes the car stay in the middle of the road all the time and is steering all the way, you know, all the time. Here, the system is only in charge when you're leaving the road, and I rather have the assist system helping me all the time. That's when the Volvo helps you, you know, it kicks in suddenly, and I rather have the feeling that the system is supporting me all the way, so there's no surprise when it kicks in. Besides that, we have a blind spot warner connected to a radar looking to the back, and what I like is we have like 4 digits here being projected from down here to the windscreen, telling me I'm too close to the guy in front of me, so I don't have the secure distance. And if I would encounter the car too fast, then I get even the alert. It's flashing, it's beeping, it's red, it's bright. You can really see it, and it warns you, you're encountering the car in front of you or the object in front of you way too fast. Slow down, boy, you know. And so that's a good warning, and it's good to have it in mind because at least in Germany there are high fees if you don't keep the distance you're supposed to the guy in front of you. Besides that, we got the bliss, so the I already mentioned the blind spot warner. Here in the side there's a little red light flashing when someone is in your blind spot. And the stereo. We got a Harman Kardon sound system in here. That is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It would be fine for me if I would buy this car. But it's such a hard time for me to talk about the infotainment system. I just had a couple weeks ago, I was driving the Volvo XC90 T8 twin engine with a new big screen in the center, and all the functions are neatly done, and Apple CarPlay and all that. And now I'm sitting in a brand new Volvo and I have the old infotainment system. And yes, you get along with it once you play a little bit with it, but quite frankly, I would have a hard time with the system. I like the car, you know, and imagining buying the car, but having this old system in here, it's just, I don't know. Well, but you know, if you want to have a sporty V60, then you will have to buy it now. The new version will only be available in 2 years, so 2018. Next year they will launch the XC60, so the SUV version on the same platform. And so this car will remain in the market with this old infotainment system for 2 more years. So it's not that I can advise you, well, you're gonna wait, you know, till the new system comes. Because even if the new V60 comes, I don't think that they will launch the Polestar edition right away. Alright guys, we just arrived at the airport in Salzburg, so I apologize for the noise around, planes are starting and so on. Still, I want to finish my review with a little sum up. I always start with the fuel consumption. So Volvo claims you can drive this car with an average fuel consumption of 8.1 liters for every 100 kilometers driven. I say, yeah, sure, you probably can, but it's not fun. We've driven this car today around about 200 kilometers and we ended up with a fuel consumption of 12.3 liters. We went up and down the mountains, quite sporty indeed, I might say. We've been on the Autobahn here in Austria, rather boring, speed limit of 130 kilometers per hour. But all in all, I think it's a good mix of driving the car more casually and having my sporty minutes. So I think that a fuel consumption of 12 liters is not so unrealistic, but I think that you can drive the car with 10 liters as well, but then you don't have as much fun as we did today. Besides that, driving fun. I just told you, not so much fun like we had today. Yes, I had fun with this car. Yesterday, driving all the day yesterday, I was not getting really into it. I didn't feel my link to the car. Today, totally different. I really like it. It was fun to drive, especially in the mountain. I had so much fun going fast, braking down, you know, the cornering and all that. For the size the car has, for the weight it has, and the engine, it's a good mix and you can still drive really sporty. Thumbs up. Thinking about driving comfort, first of all, I didn't mention that we have a electric lumbar support as well. I didn't find the switch while I was telling you everything about the inside and the interior. But the seats are really comfortable. It's not only me, my camera guy Ike, he agrees, seats are good, comfortable and they're fun to use, so it's comfortable to drive this car overall in the seats. Then we have the 2 setups for the suspension, sport and normal. Sport is good for sporty driving, normal is good for comfortable driving. So I say yes, summed up, even both, one for the seats and the other one for the suspension, it's a comfortable ride. Last one is usage as a daily driver. I'm sorry, it's an E-State version. I mean, you can load lots of shit in there. And you have space for 4 grown-ups. The car is easy to handle, so I say yes, it's a perfect daily driver. You can go shopping with the whole family on the weekends and, you know, on your way to work, you really take the car in a sporty way and have a lot of fun. So that's a good daily driver, I might say. Okay, that's it. How do you like the car? And one big question I have as well, it's the first time I worked with Ike now for a full review, a professional camera guy. Do you enjoy the way we did it? Please give me some feedback. I'm really curious how you guys think about our work together. And last but not least, anything else in the comments, a thumb up if you liked the clip. And that's it. I'm out of here. So long and goodbye.